Welcome to the Jimmy Jim James Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jimmy Jim James Show. So excited for our second edition of the Potomac Housewives.
Yes.
Got my sidekick over here, Gabby.
Yes, super excited.
And we are ready to maybe throw some shade and go through the final episode for this season.
Yes, I'm gonna be shady boots today. I'm excited.
Well, it didn't open up very strong.
Oh, I don't even understand. I think they needed extra footage for the episode, like starting off with Ashley and her son, who's super adorable.
Right.
But like a waste of
Right.
the first 10 minutes of the show.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, okay. She started. I got confused because she started to like. I thought her segment was going to go all about the husband because she was like, oh, she's on the phone with her mom or somebody, and like, oh, he's talking about his dad a lot. And I thought, oh, she's going to go down that path. And it's like, that's all she said about it. And then it was like, she hung up the phone, and then like he was saying some things, the child was, and then she was like, da 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 da, and then all of a sudden it just went off to like, oh, this kid. And then click.
It was a waste of the first 10 minutes, really.
Right?
I feel like Ashley's whole storyline this season has kind of been fading. So it's like, let's put her in a little bit more because this is what the contract says.
Right. I do too. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. I think like to myself, God, please don't believe everything this guy tells you. Just go get your own counsel and like look out for yourself. Like he doesn't have your best interest at heart. You know what I mean?
Like, well, the house is in both of their names. And then they asked her, so who's going to pay the mortgage? And she's like, well.
Yeah. I'm like, these are both your names. You got to know that the 50%'s his. He owns it. 50%'s yours. So that means you split all expenses for the house.
It's like she doesn't even know what's going on.
No, she doesn't. She's clueless, and she's going to wake up one day and be like, oh shit, what did I do? But they did have a little clip of, it wasn't, I don't know if it was like the season finale, but they had a little clip of her saying like, well, I didn't realize everything in the prenup, and then a little clip of like, she didn't get any spousal support, but who knows if that's going to come. We'll wait and see for the next two episodes, I guess.
Yeah, I think they'll probably touch on that at the reunion, but like it's showing that she's not getting the better end of the prenup.
Right. It really is. Yeah, especially with having kids. So poor little Ashley. Okay, so let's talk about the Grand Dame. The Grand Dame, Karen and Miss Mia on the phone together.
I mean, poor Mia. I feel like I'm in defense of Mia on this one because she was just trying to be a friend and say, hey, this is the situation.
Right.
Not on a shady part, but like they were talking shit. But
what did Karen expect for her to back her up on?
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of like stuff that went down. I mean, Mia wasn't there one way or another, which she could say, oh, my friend would never do that, blah, 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 because she already has, as you find out later on in the episode, she already has some tea on her anyway with a whole different deal.
I feel like because Karen isn't like defending herself anyways, like people are bringing up all these rumors about her being a prostitute or whatever the case may be, or her sleeping around, but she's not saying she doesn't. Like she's not denying it. She's just like, I'm just not hearing it.
Right. Well, like I said in the last episode of the podcast, you can always tell with Karen because she will turn away from the camera or she'll give some sort of eye things or mouth things away. She gives clues that somebody's on to her.
Right.
But she just doesn't know how to respond, and she gets flustered and has to put something out there but doesn't know what to do.
I agree. She's not denying the situation. So I feel like she's guilty as hell.
Well, they say, it's like, what is there? If there's something, there's fire. There's smoke, there's fire. Like she's got a lot of smoke on her all the time.
Oh, for sure.
So there's got to be a little bit of fire somewhere, which means a little bit of the truth.
Fire in her pants.
Is out there. Well, apparently after this episode, they just go down with her. She does have some fire in her pants, that's for sure.
Didn't like how Giselle kind of was like, well, Mia called you a prostitute, which she really didn't call her. She was like, are you guys saying she's a prostitute? It was more like a question less than she's a prostitute.
Right.
But
I mean, I was proud for Mia, but she said, no, I didn't stick up for you. Just kind of like there was nothing to stick up for, really. Like it's,
facts are facts.
Because at that point in the episode, she didn't tell her about the other thing that she knew. I don't think the other girls knew what Mia told Karen at the end of the show.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think the girls knew that.
Yeah, but like again, Karen's not defending herself.
Right.
So
Right. And how about the husband? And he's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Just take her away. I don't want to hear it. So I think I think there's been some issues back in the day when he was financially like going down the wrong path and all that kind of stuff, and they were stressing the relationship, I think.
he knows.
Yeah.
But he's older and
Right.
like,
What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
And now she's the money train.
Yeah. So he's gonna stick out what he has to do, but I feel like he for sure knows.
Right.
Because it's not like these rumors. This is national TV. It's not like he doesn't watch the show,
Right.
or hear the vlogs or hear anything of it. Like he knows what the hell's going on.
Totally does. He really does.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to admit to it, right? Okay, so how about Robin's getting married?
She is.
And I think everybody's been rooting. She better tell the mother. And then and she brings up, I like the dad, but dad's like, I'm not getting involved in this. He's like...
Sounds about right.
And she's all hell-bent about it, too.
Yeah.
You know, the mother's like, oh, we're not going to be included? And she's like,
I feel like
no.
because they are so supportive of their relationship, especially the mom, is like, how dare you not invite us to this? And I feel like as a mother, I would be upset if my kids were going to get married without me being there.
Right.
First, second, third marriage, who cares?
Totally, right?
Yeah, like I need to be there. And she was like, well, you know, you have to invite the aunts, the uncles, the cousins. She's like,
she's right about that. I mean, she's right. It does open up a can of worms because I don't know if he has family, but then he'd have to invite his parents, and then the siblings would have to be there, and that's the case. You know what I mean?
It does. I agree.
But if you're gonna roll it out there, like you know, you might as well have, like I said in the last episode, if you're gonna have 10 people to some function that you're gonna buy, like it was extravagant, right? Flowers and the whole place and hair done and custom suits, and you might as well just roll out the caterer a little bit longer and have 20, 30, 40 people. I agree.
I thought when they were talking about Jamaica, like it was just gonna be on the beach, super simple, the four of them, her fiance, and then the two kids. But then, you know, at the end of the episode, they featured the wedding, and it was extravagant for 4 people.
It was really
for 6 people.
Beautiful flowers, too. I mean, those
gorgeous.
flowers weren't cheap, so I'm sure maybe Bravo pitched in. I don't know, because all those flowers would be probably like,
it was gorgeous.
You know, thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
It was really pretty.
It was gorgeous. So, I mean, you might as well.
They even had the mirrored walkway, too.
Right? Mm-hmm. For who?
For who? For 4 people.
For who?
It was only about 5 feet long, but still, it was mirrored walkway. I'm like, damn,
that's fancy.
Yeah, totally for 4 people.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You went to all that money for that
for the ceremony, because like, what's the ceremony like? 30 minutes.
It was cute though, how they were walking down the dock. And,
it was super cute.
Yeah, holding hands.
Yeah,
and then the little caption at the end when they do all the little bios at the end of where they're at now, like. Yeah, Robin did know that he was having inappropriate relations with some girl on Instagram or something, back and forth. I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. And no prenup.
Oh, yeah, because they never got around the prenup. Sketch.
Totally sketchy.
Yeah.
And she's the one, I don't know if he's working or what he's doing, but she's at least has, you know, she's got a podcast.
Yeah.
And then she's got, you know, that hat line.
Right.
That she does. It looks like it's still going because she was trying on hats.
Right.
So, you know, she's got some money makers going on in the show. She's
right.
been out long enough. She's making a chunk of change.
Yeah, because she's one of the originals.
Yeah. But her house was cool looking, right?
I love the I'm a sucker for high ceilings.
No, I know, but I loved it was like it was like a light version of Art Deco, you know, like Art Deco contemporary, but really well done.
Yeah,
I liked it.
No, it was really nice. There's articles on Bravo of her house, and they show like the inside and everything. It looks really
looks really good.
Yeah,
the drapes, the
mom.
I laughed so hard because my mother did the same thing to me when I first my first house. The first time it was decorated twice. And all the new stuff. But the first time I had those they're called puddling drapes. And actually the history of those drapes is, it was how way back in the day you showed your wealth, because you could have the fabric just flowing down on the ground and didn't care, right? Because fabric cost so much back then. So, but that's the look. It's called puddling. So my mom came into my house too and said the same thing. What do you have on your floor? Your drapes need to be handsome. And I'm like, Mom.
It's the look.
And I told her, Mom, that's the look. Just back up every time she'd come in. She'd always give me hell about those drapes.
Oh, that's so funny.
So it was funny to see her mother do it.
As soon as she walked in, like, you gotta do something about that.
And then she's like, oh yeah, we're gonna raise the thing up. And I'm like,
no, you're not.
No, you're not. Don't even talk about it. You know?
No, I love that.
Totally. So what I also love this episode was we got clear, concise information about Mia's health. And well, it's a rash. You know? It's a rash. It's a rash. And I can understand it, but where I think that there was a lot of embellishment is if you look at the husband. And there's editing involved, but if you look at the husband's reaction, he was always flipping his, it's like she's just putting on, she's just too much. It's like, it's not that serious and she's making it into something. He kind of gave that impression in this episode. So, you know, when you talk about your lymph nodes, that's your filtration system for the body. I could see her being alarmed, they're swollen, like what's in there, so thankful that it just came out to be a rash, but I think it's kind of, you know, it's kind of funny that it came out to be a rash, but yet, you know, she was almost dying and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's because the way she posted it on social media and how she went about it. I feel like because she's like, oh my gosh, I'm at the cancer center. Like, it was like almost like, feel sorry for me, I'm going through this, but then you weren't really going through it. And then to kind of...
Well, I think you are going through it a certain... Because too many people, and lymph nodes are a big thing, and that's why I think that was the hot button, because usually when cancer, especially with women, you know, breast cancer, things like that, it's always like how many lymph nodes are infected, or you know, because that's filtration, so that means it could be somewhere else in the body. So, but it looks like she has some sort of inflammation, you know, rash thing that affects lymph nodes, and it's just like a stress thing.
I think it's just how she kind of went about it and exposing it to the public, and people were like concerned, and then it ended up being,
like Karen said, you don't throw the C word out there
unless you know
something, or unless you've really got it going. You should say like, oh, I've been, you know, going to the doctors because they found my lymph nodes, you know, are inflamed, and they don't know what it is, and so forth and so on. And I get that then, you would be worried. But to throw the C word out there so early.
That's what the problem was. She threw the C word out early. People, and then, you know, when you have a huge platform like these women do, like people jump on that train. They jump on that, oh my gosh, she has cancer train. And if it turns out to not be that, then you're kind of looking crazy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Totally crazy. Okay, so how about poor Chris? It's like they were using this episode to get that guy on the hook. Like
poor Chris.
Ashley and Giselle. Like, you know, this is at the party. Like, why did they? And both of them were like, "Oh, I gotta talk to Chris. Oh, I gotta talk to Chris." Like, pick up the phone if you want to talk to Chris.
There's a time and a place, and I for sure agree with Candace that wasn't the time and place. And she said it multiple times. Like, he doesn't want to do it here. He does want to have a conversation, but just not today. And because like they couldn't. Well, Giselle was like, whatever. She kind of brushed it off, but because Ashley couldn't brush that off, like. She caused a situation, and it was unnecessary. I feel like she should have just, you know what, I respect that. We can sit down and have this conversation privately, or we can do this on camera at a restaurant outside of this event. But she did it at the event, and it pissed him off. Yeah, I feel like that you know, I don't think he did anything wrong. And I mean, they keep showing the film. He's sitting at the bar, like. He's not stupid. Like, are you gonna really pick up someone while you're on camera? I mean, he works at a restaurant or a hotel or whatever he does, and it's like he has plenty of opportunity to do it without being on the camera. Not with her circle of friends.
And her circle of friends. And the girl wasn't cute anyway.
Did she say Sesame Street? She said, I was like, what is this street that she kept doing?
I know, Sesame Street.
with her hands.
Like, my God. I mean, she is different looking, but, you know, she's not an unattractive woman, but it's like, you know, but you know, Candace, she goes after she'll just pull anything and just, you know.
The low blows. No, but Candace was right. I mean, she was defending her husband, and like I respect her for that. I respect Chris. I mean, as soon as she actually was walking over, she's like, alert, alert.
Well, and even with Giselle, like, you know, she feels like it's inappropriate because he came into her dressing room or something, but it was like the door was open and it was like followed him in there, or I don't know, but it wasn't like he ever came onto her or if something happens like that, right away she should be saying, oh, well, why don't you stay outside and I'll be, like, if that was happening to me, there's been times where I've been uncomfortable with, like, you know, there's a couple there and, you know, I kind of like the wife is a little too friendly or something like that.
Right.
And you just have to manage all of that, right? Not just don't do anything about it and then talk about it.
But Giselle didn't even say anything until someone else said something, until Ashley brought up the whole text message.
Then she was like, oh, well, I had an incident.
Right.
I didn't say anything about. Yeah.
It seemed like it was trying to be, you know, messy boots.
Yes.
Giselle.
Well, Giselle's messy boots. She is.
But she owns up to it, like
she
you
does
said.
Now, yeah. Well, and I think, because Lisa Rinna is messy too, but Lisa Rinna, Lisa Rinna always owned her own shit, so I can't say that, but I kind of think like when that heat came on Lisa Rinna that Giselle always would say, well, you know, that's who I am. You know, I'm going to tell everybody. Like she lets them know, you know, I'm telling the rest of the girls, right? Like she does it out in the open now, where before she used to not.
No, she's very, like, she did something messy and then she's like, you know, I'm just being messy. So I can respect it because she's out in the open with it. She's like, I'm just out here being messy.
She is. So messy.
No, I agree.
And the last of the show, when we already touched on this, but when Mia told Karen about her being a prostitute and then saying that her friend owns a restaurant and blah, 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 blah. You saw Karen, she almost did a 180 going around, like just looking like when she was being accused of it. And I was like, oh, she's guilty.
Oh, for sure.
She's so guilty right now, I can't even take it. Because she doesn't want to show her face, right? Her facial expression.
I just feel like Karen's just hella guilty. Like in all the scenarios, like she has not denied, she hasn't been like, that is not me, that's not the type
She's just
of
like,
person.
I'm just not going to address it.
I just don't want to hear it.
Of course you're not, because then you give it life.
Right.
If you address it, you give it life.
And
if it wasn't true, wouldn't you say, like she did try to say, like, oh, I called the restaurant, they don't know who she is. Well, maybe, no, Mia didn't say that she knew the owner and that she knew the, like, you know what I mean? Like,
she said a friend of a
friend. She's a friend works there and saw it.
Yeah.
And
And Karen did not deny it again.
She didn't deny it at all.
None of the allegations on Karen, none of them, she was just like, that is just, no, it's negative. She's just like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, and then what'd she do? She split.
Yeah.
Because she knows she's going to get more of it, right? That's how she tries to shut it down.
When they used the pole with the flower, it was like, Karen is
right. That busted me up.
I was like, they're so wrong. They're like, where's Karen? Oh, Karen ran out.
At least they put a flower on there,
like
a cup. Like, there she is, right here. And Candace is all given a toast and everything, and that's also, oh, I love you, girls, and la 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 la. But
they hate themselves all together.
I know, right? But they just come for each other all the time. So true. Okay, so getting back to the wedding, I know last episode we thought it was going to be the dress off the shoulders.
Uh-oh.
And it showed up to be a whole new dress. It looked good on her.
It did.
Yeah, and I thought it wasn't too va-va-voom, which is nice. It was attractive without being too much.
Right.
Like her boobs weren't spilling out or anything, but she looked sexy. She looked good.
No, I think it was really appropriate.
Pretty. Yeah, I do too.
For their small, intimate wedding, second wedding dress, I think it was appropriate. It was white. You know how I am about the white dress.
Right. I forgot about the whiteness.
It was. I'm just so against like a pure white dress. It's just like, for some reason. But no, she looked beautiful. I mean, the whole wedding, the flowers, everything was just gorgeous. And, we're happy for them.
Yeah.
For sure. I shed a tear. I was like, oh, this is cute. I did.
I shed a tear. Well, I guess we're getting ready for the... not the finale, what do they call it? the last two shows, the reunions.
Yes.
That's right, the reunions.
I love I'm like a sucker.
I like the reunions too.
That's when all like the drama spills out.
Yeah, and then you learn some more stuff too, right?
With the flashbacks and like, well, behind the scenes.
Yeah, because they got all the footage.
Yes.
They got all the footage then.
No,
so there comes the apologies
juicy.
and there comes all of that.
No, I'm ready for the
I
reunions.
am too.
That's where it's going to get juicy and we can talk a whole bunch of more.
I am too.
No, it's going to be great.
All right, so this is wrap up for our second edition of the Potomac Housewives.
Yes.
Great to see you, Gabby. And we'll
too.
be talking at the reunion.
Yes.
Again.
Let's do it.
Thank you, everybody.